Another day of record high temperatures and very hot weather for October for Texas and more fog. Let's talk about when the weather pattern may be changing in this Thursday edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. Good morning. It's Thursday, the 24th of October, 2024. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Bully-in-Chief David Reimer. Well, we set some temperature records yesterday with a lot of 90s, and unfortunately, we're going to be doing it again today across the state. But first thing to start off, we have fog across the southeastern third to the southeastern half of the state this morning. Some of that fog is quite dense, but it'll be burning off by about 9 to 10 a.m., leaving another mostly sunny to partly cloudy day across the state with another day of near to at record high temperatures along with high wildfire danger. We're going to do the fog thing again tonight across southeastern third of the state. Some of that fog will be dense and will again burn off by about 9 to 10 a.m. Friday. Not a drop of rain expected, it looks like, across the state. You can see that little boundary across Oklahoma tonight. That'll bring a few isolated thunderstorms to northeastern and eastern Oklahoma, but that will not manage to unzip back down into the state of Texas, unfortunately. Otherwise, as we go through tonight into Friday, a cool front will bring comparatively cooler temperatures to the northwestern third to the northwestern half of Texas, along with a wind shift to bring winds out of the north before that front stalls off tomorrow evening, unfortunately leaving the southeastern half of Texas still in a hot regime for late October. Fire weather conditions over the next few days. Today, very high fire danger expected. Texoma, northwest Texas, the Panhandle, west Texas. High fire danger down to the Permian Basin, Guadalupe Mountains, the Trans-Pecos, the Big Bend, the borderland around El Paso, central Texas, the Brazos Valley, east Texas, southeast Texas. Tomorrow and Saturday, things may be a little more tame, but still moderate to locally high wildfire danger expected from the Texas Forest Service fire weather / fire danger outlook. We're going to have to keep an eye on Sunday and Monday for higher wildfire danger to return to parts of Texas. As we head through the weekend into early next week, well, we'll see temperatures warm up again pretty quickly after that cool front washes out tomorrow and tomorrow night. Cannot completely rule out an isolated shower in the Arklatex Saturday evening. And unfortunately, besides that, we're looking pretty dry until maybe the 30th or 31st of October, so near Halloween, when we're expecting a weather pattern change to occur. Until then, same old, with above average temperatures and very little in the way of rain chances, unfortunately, across the state of Texas. We'll see mostly southerly winds on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Overnight occurrences of fog possible, especially across the southeastern half of the state, before our pattern changes around Halloween. All right, so let's take a look at that. Here's the upper air pattern as we get into the upcoming week. You can see mostly weak northwesterly flow aloft now, with the jet stream remaining to our north until we get to about late Tuesday or Wednesday, Thursday of next week. The jet stream's going to take a dip down. We're going to get an upper level trough across the Four Corners region, and that could bring a cool front in here for the second half of next week. Maybe some chance of precipitation as we get towards Halloween and the 1st of November. That'll still waffle back and forth a bit. Could be a little sooner, the 30th. So Wednesday of next week, or it could be Thursday, Friday, or Saturday next week when that cool front finally arrives, and hopefully we can get at least some chance of precipitation out of it. We'll probably get a cool front at least. That'll help knock temperatures down. Today's high temperature forecast, we're looking at 90s across most of the state. If not 90s, it'll be in the upper 80s, close enough. Could see mid to upper 90s in the western Permian Basin, northwest Texas. It's hot. It's late October, so record high temperatures are around 90 to 95 degrees for most folks, some even in the upper 80s. we're going to hit those, no problem, unfortunately. Tomorrow, you could see with the cool front moving into the northwestern third to northwestern half of Texas, we'll see high temperatures 60s northwestern panhandle, Dalhart to Dumas, 70s west Texas up into the panhandle, parts of northwest Texas, northern Permian Basin, and then we're still going to hit 80s and 90s southeastern two-thirds of Texas tomorrow, though some of y'all in the big country, North Texas, Texoma, northwest Texas, may end up cooling off a bit tomorrow afternoon, early tomorrow evening as that cool front arrives. Saturday, high temperatures 70s to mid-80s northwestern half of the state, mid to upper 80s to middle 90s southeastern half of Texas. And then as we get back into the southerly winds on Sunday, we'll see high temperatures back up into the upper 80s to 90s across most of the state, an exception being the higher terrain of the Davis Mountains, Alpine, Marfa, low 80s, same thing up in the Guadalupe Mountains, and then the Arklatex, we may have some cool air trying to wedge itself in from Arkansas, the higher terrain of mountains there, so high temperatures around 80 degrees for y'all. Everyone else, guess what? Upper 80s to low 90s. And then as we get into Monday, still looking at mid to upper 80s to lower 90s, maybe mid 90s across the state of Texas. Here's the Climate Prediction Center outlook as we go through the final days of October and begin to enter November. Next weekend, I guess. We're looking at above average temperatures quite likely to continue across the eastern two-thirds of the continental United States, below average temperatures with that pattern change and cold front around Halloween, the western third of the United States, and maybe if we're lucky, we could get some of that cooler air in Texas. But as we change that upper level pattern, we're going to see things shift and the probability of precipitation increase around Halloween into the first couple days of November. Above average probability of precipitation around Halloween into early November, though again the exact timeline and specifics will depend on the specific timing of that upper level pattern change, which, since we're still a week out, will shift. Could be a day sooner, around the 30th, may end up being the 1st or 2nd of November. It's just too soon to tell, but around Halloween or slightly thereafter, we could get more active in the weather department. But for now, our biggest issue, morning fog and wildfire threat, and that'll continue through the weekend. We'll have your next Texas Weather Roundup bright and early on Friday. Until then, you can always get your local weather forecast, interactive weather radar, daily Texas Weather Roundups, and more in the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. And just search for Texas Storm Chasers, where you download apps for your device. I'm going to go find a Benadryl, apparently, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a good one. God bless.